Ahoy web surfers who are also Transformers fans! So I'm not sure if you knew this, but apparently a new Blitzwing just dropped on us. And it completely surprised me because I was thinking, didn't we just do Blitzwing in Titan's Return about 3 years ago? But then I realized 2017 was almost 5 years ago. So, I mean, sure, why not update this character before our bones turn to dust? And it makes sense to update the character. Everyone likes him. It's pretty hard not to love a big menacing bad guy brute flaunting 3 different modes. So how's about we come on down with Legacy Blitzwing?
Come on down, Auto Rat!
We'll be starting off with the robot mode, and you may have noticed something, namely that it's amazing. Firstly, yes, this is a very faithful and accurate depiction of the character's look in the fiction, but I want to point out that mentioning that figures are screen accurate doesn't necessarily correlate to its overall quality. You know who else is cartoon accurate? Kingdom Tracks, and that toy sucks! Also, I personally think Classics Mirage is my preferred toy of that character. What I'm saying is that when I mention the accuracy of a toy, it's more of a note on the aesthetic the designers were trying to achieve, and everything is really brought to life here so elegantly and expertly. Love the color scheme so much. You wouldn't think beige would match so well with purple and yellow, but somehow it wins me over every time with this character. The silver paint is ceaselessly sexy, and the subtle sculpting is sublime, and I'm not just saying that for alliteration. And as you can see, this Blitz bot's bustling a brilliantly bulky bod these days, as seen in the big pronounced angular purple chest, which is filled with detail and satisfying paintwork. These silver rectangles actually shout out the original G1 toy. I also appreciate how they remembered that Blitzwing's waist is basically a rectangle. Blitzwing's kinda like SpongeBob in that way. It's cool how they gave some extra definition in his shins too, since they're traditionally depicted as being really flat and featureless. Ooh, shin banter. And there's something about these big silver Decepticon symbols on his legs that really tickles me. They also included his notable fin feet, while his actual feet are bodaciously made out of his thrusters. And I really like the bulky backpack. It suits the character and the design perfectly. It makes him look even more imposing, wearing both a tank and a jet. It complements the shoulders astoundingly. Heading to the Blitz bucket head, it's awesome. Try to tell me it isn't. It's so satisfyingly geometric and Judge Dredd. Everything looks so sharp, the silver face is lovingly picked out, and the red visor always looks perfect. The toy feels so good in hand, the joints are solid, there's pretty much nothing loose or fiddly about this, it's just a pure chunk of concentrated quality. The articulation is also spectacular. Like, look toy, I get it, alright? You're good. As both a leader class figure and a 2022 Transformer, they went to great lengths to make sure this was the most posable and dynamic Blitzwing's ever been. He moves and grooves in all the ways you'd want him to. Sliding to the side items, he's sporting the stunning, distinctive silver sword. Oh yeah, this is hitting. It's definitely one of those iconic Transformer weapons, and the sculpting is scrumptious. It's made out of a softer, rubbery plastic, the kind I used to hate but have since made peace with because I'm not 13 anymore. Next, there are these 2 identical blasters. I'm not sure why 2, but I'm not mad about it. Dual wielding always looks sick as hell, and they're true to what we know Blitzwing to use. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for these strawberry jam Hulk hands. These have been deeply perplexing, and they don't look like anything he's ever used in the fiction prior. I think I heard that all the Legacy Energon-themed accessories were created before deciding which characters they'd be used for, and yeah, I can believe that. They're far from the worst accessories, they're just kind of confusing. I suppose they're alright when you're making him do a Dreamwave grabbing pose or imagining he's shooting stuff out of his fingers. I'm just saying, if I wanted giant hands, I would have called 6-Gun. But looking at everything I've presented, yeah, this is fantastic through and through. This is the best robot mode Blitzwing's ever had. It basically nails everything about the look. He's long, tan, and handsome. It's powerful, it has presence. There's nothing more I could have wanted from this. A terrific triple threat. The transformation into tank mode is enjoyable and straightforward. It's full of spreading out, unfolding, compressing, lining up, all that good stuff. It's not too much of a challenge, and it's a tasty time. And treading toward the tank, it presents us with a big bucket of emotions. The sides look absolutely great with the continued unrelenting sculpting showing us vents and other tank stuff, along with some top tier treads. The detailing continues toward the back as well. It's unbelievable how tiny they were able to pick this out. Transitioning to the top turret, it's big and voluminous, including a lovely Decepticon logo on the side. And not only can it fully rotate, but the barrel can go up and down for when you want to recreate Cup's hero moment. He's got some visible jet boosters on the back, but that doesn't really bother me. 'Tis the way of the triple changer, and I can get behind the inherent silliness of a tank with jet boosters. And yeah, I'm getting to it. I know exactly what you're thinking. What is this? Why is Blitzwing's jet cockpit jetting out the front, and why is it so prominent? I feel like I should censor this. So the story behind this detail is actually really fascinating. As you may know, the 80s cartoon models were designed based on their toys, and in many cases it was clear the designers were going off of photos of the toys rather than having physical copies, which led to many misinterpretations of the toys put into the cartoon designs. And Blitzwing's cartoon tank model was based on a mistransformed G1 toy where the turret was on backwards, so the jet cockpit was just on full display in the front instead of the back like intended. Uh-oh! That's why this figure has this. It purposefully references a mistake the cartoon designers made. Now, admittedly, I'm not sure if I'm into it, and I would have preferred a traditional tank front. However, I can't really criticize this as a flaw, mistake, or imperfection with the toy. This was a deliberate choice on the toy designer's part to reference the cartoon tank look. You want to know how purposeful this was? This is actually a fake cockpit. Yeah, the real one's just underneath. So it definitely won't be to everyone's taste, but I get why it's there and I can live with it. After I cry about it some more. Anyway, this tank has 7 weapon ports, one of which is cleverly on the turret hatch, so you can bash a bunch of guns onto it, making it look even more rambunctious. Plus, you can take the gauntlets and do whatever the hell this is. It's a bit much, I admit, but I guess it's pretty funny. I guess. So considering this is a triple changer, it's a pretty good tank mode. It feels substantial and it's pleasing to hold with its shape. Despite any jokes I can make about the visible cockpit, I still think it holds really strong. It's a pleasant chunk of robot tank. The transformation into the jet mode is again fairly easy and hassle-free. The wings unfold like Nitro Zeus, and there's some fun shifting happening with the arms and the tank mass. Now, jolting into the jet mode, it's pretty similar to the tank mode in spirit, but in strangely different ways. Now, this holds a pretty great likeness to a sick-as-hell purple jet. Adore the accents of yellow and silver here and there. The shiny nose cone works so well along the red cockpit. It's a delicious concoction of colors. The wingspan is so wide and satisfying, and the silver Decepticon symbols on the purple wings really do it for me. Also, the back fins are adjustable, so you can have them straight up or diagonal, whichever you choose. And heading to the very back, they may have been a bit awkward in tank mode, but the jet boosters look wicked here, so big and pleasing. And yeah, I'm getting to it. The overall perfection of the jet mode is pretty compromised by the giant concrete slab of tank parts glued underneath. He's got his treads folded and the underside still very conspicuous. And this has been a huge point of discussion for a lot of people, and I cannot deny that it's big and distracting. On the other hand, I don't think it ruins the jet mode by any means. As I've established, everything that is a jet looks pretty fantastic and solid. Additionally, it helps him balance with his front landing gear. It's worth mentioning too that out of every Blitzwing toy, there's only ever been one that didn't have a bunch of tank mode crap on the underside, and it's the Thrilling 30 figure. The one everyone agrees is the worst one. Maybe that's just the price we have to pay for a good Blitzwing figure. But either way, I think this is a pretty good jet mode overall. Like many, I was slightly off-put by the promo images, but actually seeing this thing in person makes for a different experience. It's something I had to see physically to appreciate. Also, you can make his head poke out. So in my opinion, Legacy Blitzwing is a very good, wonderful figure. It stumbles a touch with the alt modes, but I still think they got the job done. And there are few things cooler than that robot mode. It's a definite recommendation to anyone who doesn't have a satisfying figure of this character in their collection. I know a lot of people were comparing the stock images of this toy with the Titans Return Blitzwing figure, but what's interesting is how completely different they feel. This isn't really a case of one being obviously superior to the other. They just both have great points and not so great points. But this Blitzwing takes a pretty mean swing, and with a triple changer, I'm not really looking for utter perfection. With a toy like this, I value
play value,
genuine charm,
fun factor,
and I'd say this toy scores pretty high on all three. What a Blitz King.